If you're like me, then you've probably been recommended a bunch of these playlist videos over the past couple of months. If not, then this video will explain everything. The Doomer mixtape, or playlist, is the result of a viral meme known as the Doomer, a character in his mid-20s that usually looks pretty sad, tired, and even exhausted. The Doomer has become a symbol for young adults, a reflection of their beliefs, actions, and lifestyle. Doomers usually live secluded lives, suffer from depression, have jobs that they feel are meaningless, and they usually stay up late on their computer. They believe that humanity will come to an end because of climate change, advancements in technology, lack of resources, and so on. And the only thing that makes them feel a little bit better is sleep and music. After the Doomer meme became a viral phenomenon, some YouTube creators started uploading playlists dedicated to people who resonated with the character, aka the Doomers. You'll often see videos with titles like 2-hour Doomer playlist, Doomer night walk music, and Russian Doomer music. And yeah, there's a lot of Russian Doomers out there apparently, or maybe people just love the sound of Russian post-punk. I don't know. Although I had a slight curiosity and interest in these playlists, I never really took the time to listen to them myself. Until just a few days ago when I came up with the idea for a video. I decided to search up the top 10 most watched Doomer playlist videos on YouTube in an effort to figure out what the typical or most ideal Doomer playlist looks like. I asked myself the question, what are the Doomers' favorite artists and bands? Well, it became pretty obvious after I listed all the artist names and songs in a Google spreadsheet. First of all on the list, and the Doomers' favorite band, The Smiths. And yeah, there's a lot of The Smiths songs featured in these lists. What's often looked upon as The Smiths' #1 hit, There Is a Light That Never Goes Out, was featured in 3 of the 10 playlists that I listened to. The same goes for their song Sleep from their 1987 compilation Louder Than Bombs. I think the idea of adding a sleep to the playlist simply fit with the idea that the Doomers' only encouragement is sleep. But I might be wrong, it's a good song nonetheless. 4 other songs by the Smiths were also featured, and in total they were featured 11 times altogether in various playlists. It's easy to see why the curators included the Smiths so often in the playlists. Their music is some of the moodiest rock music you can find from the 80s. The vocalist, Morrissey, has this angelic yet almost mourning singing style. And the subject matter walks the fine line between nostalgia and sadness. It perfectly reflects the Doomer who's on the verge of giving up his optimistic view on life. Just listen to this excerpt taken from There Is a Light That Never Goes Out. Quote, "And if a double-decker bus crashes into us, to die by your side is such a heavenly way to die." End quote. The second most popular band on these lists is Radiohead, with the most featured song being No Surprises. And there's no doubt again why this song is so popular in the Doomer culture. The lyrics verbally recite the Doomer lifestyle word for word. Here's the first verse of the song. Quote, "A heart that's full up like a landfill, a job that slowly kills you, bruises that won't heal. You look so tired, unhappy. Bring down the government. They don't speak for us. I'll take a quiet life, a handshake of carbon monoxide." End quote. Like I said, this song describes the Doomer lifestyle as it is. When Radiohead released OK Computer back in '97, it clearly resonated with a ton of people. Much of the subject matter in the lyrics criticized the government and the rise in technology, and discussed the ever-growing feeling of emptiness that followed. It doesn't matter if you lived in the 80s and heard the Smiths on the radio, or in the 90s and heard Radiohead. People have always felt a sense of hopelessness. It's more a matter of who's able to communicate it more clearly through music. 7 other songs from Radiohead were also included in the top 10 Doomer playlists, including Exit Music, Motion Picture Soundtrack, How to Disappear Completely, Let Down, Pyramid Song, Sail to the Moon, and Street Spirit. Now, moving on, the third most featured band in the Doomer playlists is The Cure. Their most popular song in those lists is Disintegration, and it's a song about heartbreak and separation. We know for a fact that vocalist of the band, Robert Smith, went through some really rough times with his wife, married Theresa Poole, during this time. But the song was about something else. It's rather a conglomeration of his dark personal thoughts. At the time, Smith had just turned 29 and felt old as he was about to enter the third decade of his life. To get to grips with his depressive mood swings, he frequently used LSD. Here's an excerpt from one of the verses of Disintegration. Quote, "And now that I know that I'm breaking to pieces, I'll pull out my heart and I'll feed it to anyone." End quote. Just like the Smiths in the mid-80s and Radiohead in the late 90s, The Cure created music that would perfectly fit the Doomer personality type. Depression, frustration, and restlessness is clearly conveyed musically and lyrically. And although not every Doomer is using LSD to escape the struggles of daily life, they're certainly known for escaping through the ever-growing presence of technology. If we move over to the fourth most featured band in the Doomer playlists, we find Slowdive. None of their songs stood out as more popular than the others. Instead, they had 3 different songs featured once in various playlists. These songs include Sugar for the Pill, Summer Days, and Sick. Now, Sugar for the Pill is their most popular song according to streaming platforms though. And if we take a closer look at the lyrics of the song, we see another tragic song about love. Vocalist Neil Halstead sings about how he's going through turbulent times with his girlfriend, Anna. Quote, "Anna rolled away, said we never wanted much, just a roller coaster. Our love was never number one." End quote. From what I've learned from the Doomer community, some people become Doomers as a result of a breakup. Or at least that's where a big part of them go on a downhill slope, emotionally speaking, and end up as Doomers eventually. So again, there's a connection in the subject matter, as you can see. Now, out of the 10 Doomer playlists that I looked through, there was a lot of variety in the music. Everything from Daft Punk to Johnny Cash could be found there. So there are very few borders in terms of genre. I think the quote-unquote Doomer playlist phenomenon relates to the overall musical mood and subject matter of the lyrics, rather than the rhythms, instruments, or the era. In saying this, I also want to mention that a lot of the bands under the top 4 artists had 2 songs featured. So a lot of bands compete for the 5th spot here, including The Killers, Red House Painters, and many others. But one band that I've been a long-time fan of, and that I want to give some extra credit to, is Arcade Fire. They had 2 songs featured in these lists, Modern Man and We Used to Wait. Modern Man is the 3rd song off of their 2010 album, The Suburbs. The lyrics mostly talk about what it's like becoming an adult in modern society. You spend most of the time standing in lines, doing things you don't want to do. The antagonist of the lyrics realizes that he is wasting his life though, and feels the sudden urge to go pursue his dreams instead. He breaks through the illusion and the belief that he's forced to be a modern man. Quote, "Oh, I had a dream I was dreaming, and I feel I'm losing the feeling. Makes me feel like something don't feel right. I erase the number of the modern man when I break the mirror of the modern man." End quote. To sum up, I want to say that it was really interesting for me to realize that the Doomer meme was so much more than just a meme. It's basically a reflection of what a lot of teenagers and young adults feel like in this day and age. It's sad to see that such a huge portion of our population is struggling with self-esteem, a meaningless lifestyle, and empty relationships. But personally, I think there's a lot of hope for young people out there. You just have to follow your dreams and hopes no matter how hard it gets. Realize that you're 10 times more resourceful than what you currently believe. Realize that you're not alone in experiencing this, and realize that there's more than just sad and depressive rock music out there. Alright? Thank you so much for watching. During the first hour after I post this video, I will go live on Discord, Instagram, and Twitch. So if any of you guys have any suggestions for what I should make a video about next, what rock band or rock artist I should talk about, then click those links in the description below. Send me a message on Twitch or on any of the social platforms, and I'll see what I can do, okay? Cheers. Bye.